not temper in that. If you create an artificial intelligence with the capability of a human being, if your best friend that you know for years can switch up on you and become fake so quick, how do you know that AI won't switch up on you? How do you know that they won't go back in history, recall all the incidents where man fucked up shit, you know? I would have to say it bad. Yo, it's your boy Audisei. I'm back here with another video. Today is kind of a long video as well as like a very, let's say, intellectual video. But saying that, thank all the people that have watched my previous video on Juice WRLD. I thank you guys so much for the support, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. I mean, to some people it might be not, and I'm catch your words, you know. It might not be a lot, 1,000 views, 28 subscribers, but thank you guys so much. It's a good stepping stool for me right now. Further now, let's get into this video. Oh, if I didn't say I'm reacting to 13 scariest theories that make your blood run cold. What's up with this camera angle, you know?
Now consider this. Does the Ohio State University marching band...
Wait. I know that's not really, it's not really like uncommon, or it's not possible. But he's skilled with that baton. He threw it on the ground and bounced back to him.
Does the Ohio State University marching band have their field maneuvers directed by...
Oh, I remember this, where they did the moonwalk for a tribute to Michael Jackson in the football field.
Hovering overhead, high above the stadium. A scary theory, to say the least.
Hit that so smooth,
if you like that one, check this out. 13 of the scariest theories known to humankind. One of the most beautiful things about humanity is that we question everything. Where did...
Not lying, though. We do question everything.
we come from? Where are we headed? Is there intelligent life on Earth? Makes you wonder sometimes. When the mental gears really start moving, people can come up with theories that are downright terrifying. In this video, you'll learn about 13 of the scariest theories that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about your reality. But before we dive down this thought-provoking rabbit hole, become a bona fide bright side by clicking that
you have to plug your
button.
channel on my channel.
We put out
you know, it's not even that big though.
Every single day. So don't forget to enable post notifications too. All right, you better take a moment to stretch your muscles of your mind, because you're in for an exhilarating intellectual ride.
Let's go.
Number 13, the Great Filter. When you really consider the size of the universe, it's only reasonable to assume that it's filled with countless life forms. Yet,
I remember this. Basically, they're saying that because the universe is so vast and that there's points that we haven't reached to, basically we're destined to fail or doomed to fail. Because if we will not make it out of our universe, or we're gonna fail in the process of doing so and destroy ourselves, basically. Secondly, the Great Filter is also like, if you can have life forms at the bottom of Mariana's Trench, or there's places under it that we haven't even seen, what makes you think that places like Mars or Europa, which is Jupiter's moon, or Mars can have life forms as well? Because before a planet to survive, it has to have an ecosystem, and for it to have an ecosystem, it must have like animals and things to support it as well. You never know, there can be like earthworms or something, or moonworms, I should say. You gotta think about it.
We haven't stumbled across any of them so far. So why is that? According to this theory, somewhere out there exists a great filter. The main purpose of this filter is to stop those civilizations that advance to the level of star colonization.
From reaching us and
if
from
we
us
suppose
reaching
that
them.
this idea is true, there are 3 possible scenarios for humanity.
Destruction?
A, we're unique because we've passed the great filter. Other civilizations haven't managed to do this. B, we're among the first potential colonizers. Before, the conditions in space were too harsh for life forms to leave their home planets. In this case, chances are that we'll soon encounter aliens. See? We haven't reached the level of technological development.
Yep, and we will never reach it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to backtrack on human race or anything. If we do reach it, it's not going to be within this era.
It's advanced enough to pass through the filter. Consequently, the trial is...
You know, people haven't really noticed, but we're like one of the only sentient beings that live into this universe or in this planet, and we're just mucking everything up. We're just straight up messing everything up. You know, like, at least be the only thing, because you're the only sentient being. At least be something like that helps to evolve it more. But we're just straight up fisting it.
Still ahead of us.
Number
12. Higher dimensional beings.
Is this one about the four-dimensional beings?
Something pretty bizarre now.
That they can't appear to us, but they're there.
Obviously, if you stared at them from a certain angle, like from the top.
If you haven't told, I'm a science geek and I know a lot of history.
They wouldn't ever spot you. They'd live peacefully in their two-dimensional lives without any suspicion that someone's watching them from above. And now, imagine something even scarier. What if a 4D being was looking at you from their four-dimensional world? Just like a 2D
invisible
person,
to us,
you wouldn't be able to notice this creature in your 3D world.
Yeah.
You could potentially interact with a 2D person if you found the right angle.
Yeah,
in the same manner, a 4D life form could talk to you. Unfortunately, even if these higher dimensional beings
like
exist,
some Flat Stanley
they seem reluctant to make contact with the human race. Number 11. False vacuum. This scientific theory says that...
Yo, before we get into this, there's so many things that have happened this year that should not have happened. I don't know if you heard about the black hole that engulfed a freaking star almost the size of the sun and released a huge wave of dark matter. Not supposed to happen. And they found another ocean, an entire ocean, in a cavern under Mariana Trench. They haven't explored it yet, but the geography shows that there is another ocean. They found more continents this year. A lot of things are going messed up. It's a sign. It's a sign. It is.
Our universe exists in a false phase state, which means that it's just a temporary thing. What's more, it's only a small part of a larger universe. Let's say this bigger universe is a pot of boiling water.
The frying pan.
According to the false vacuum theory, the universe we live in would be just a tiny bubble on the surface of the water. But this can't go on forever. One day, perhaps in billions of years, this false vacuum will eventually burst.
Explode.
And then the visible universe around us will...
You see, the thing that people don't understand, that all end has a beginning, and all beginning has an end, and has a middle. And the middle is a crossroad, which the end and the middle meet, and for them to decide which direction they're going. If you didn't understand what I'm saying, slow it down, break it down, you
vanish with a pop, without any preliminary warning.
Any trace
and what
or
that
any
means
warning.
for humanity, well, you can probably imagine. Number 10. We're living in a black hole.
That theory is that we're living in a black hole. That theory is actually you can kind of relate to it, because if you're living in a black hole, which means we already entered the black hole, but without knowing it, because the entire universe or the entire Earth has already entered it, but we can't tell that we're in it because we're in it.
Now, you're probably aware that a black hole...
Nobody knows what's on the other side of a black hole.
But what happens to the stuff it engulfs? What if a black hole already swallowed us up long ago? Surprisingly, some physicists deem this theory pretty plausible. According to Dr. Nikodem Pawlowski, a theoretical physicist at the University of New Haven, everything that a black hole sucks in may turn into a new universe inside the hole or on the other side of it.
See?
Who knows? Maybe that's how our
we could already be in
born and where it's currently located. Ooh.
White
Number
holes.
9.
Aren't these like the end of the black hole tunnels? Like they're the opposite of black holes, I'm pretty sure. Where black holes destruction and nothingness is creation.
The theory of white holes is closely connected with the previous idea. While black holes engulf all matter so that even light can't escape, white holes are quite the opposite. These
So
formations
basically, it's a
believed to
tunnel,
spit out
like the black
everything
hole's
that
the
black holes
entrance,
suck
the
in.
white hole's
In other words,
the
a white
exit.
hole is a
So
hypothetical
basically,
area of
you would say that we will go through the black hole, we would enter a dimension that's not in our plane, therefore passing through a white hole, which is back into our dimension. So basically, we left, came back without even noticing.
space-time that nothing can enter from the outside, but light and matter
Yeah, this is a
can't
long
escape
video.
from.
I'm sorry.
It's vice versa for black holes. You can only enter one from the outside, but can't get free afterward.
Oh shit. That's the problem. What if we were actually trapped in a black hole or a white hole and we just can't get out and we don't know?
Number 8.
The
The
multiverse theory. Everybody
Maybe you've
knows
heard
that.
of the existence of a parallel universe. In that place, everything seems
Seen that
the
movie
same,
too.
but is in fact quite different. The multiverse theory takes it all one step further and claims that there might be countless other realities.
Think of it like this. If you have one piece of paper, let's say, let me just use this book as an example. If you take this book and you put it on a photocopy or something, you'll have two, right? One's still the original, one's not the original. If you shred the copy, you just have pieces of a piece. But if you shred the original, you'll have pieces of the original, which therefore are the originals but are broken. Just slightly different. No copy is ever the same as the original. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Beside our own. Now, according to this theory, we live in a bubble that's just one of many other bubbles.
Waiting
They
to pop.
constantly pop up and vanish, not unlike soap bubbles. And who knows? Maybe in one of these
What do you think if I would say that every time you go to sleep, you vanish from reality, or the world vanishes from reality? Every time you wake up, it pops back up. You can't tell whether I'm lying or I'm telling the truth, because even if you try to prove it, you're asleep. If you try to record yourself, you never know if that recording is telling the truth or not.
universes.
I'm talking about this from a
dinosaurs
scientific
still
perspective.
roam
I'm not
this
talking about
planet.
it from like,
Number 7.
oh, the brain in the vat. That's a good theory. I learned that in philosophy. I'm not
in
gonna
a
explain it. They're
vat.
probably gonna explain it, but
This idea has
no, I'm gonna explain it. Basically, they're saying that you're a brain in a jar. How do you know that you're not in your consciousness is not in a simulation, or it's not in a fake world or plane? What if I would tell you that I'm real and you're fake, or you're fake or you're real and I'm fake? You never know that. You could just be a brain in a jar full of fake walls or fake things around you, or it could be vice versa. You can be the jar containing a brain. How do you know you're real? How do I know if my best friend's real or not?
provided the groundwork for a number of thought experiments. Just consider the following statements. The origin of consciousness is the brain. The brain needs electrical impulses to operate. However, it can also be influenced by external stimuli. Thus, if such stimuli are simulated to a high degree, the brain won't be able to distinguish these artificial stimuli from natural ones.
See?
Basically, what this means is
vat
that you
or a
very
jar.
well could be just a brain in a jar.
In a vat.
Something is feeding you false impulses and you're hallucinating your whole life. And
Look, let me tell you something. If you think I'm lying, let me give you like a different perspective. If I take like an iPhone, a Samsung, a Mac, a Microsoft, a Xbox 360, PlayStation 5, X series, whatever you want to call it. If I take that technology, bring it back to like 1940, they'll say it's witchcraft or it's wizardry or it's something that's not possible. How would you fit that much technology or something in that small little package? But nowadays it's normal, right? Fast forward 10,000, 11,000 years from now. How do you know that somebody hasn't already invented something that can break the quantum barrier, travel back in time, a simulation to put us in, and we're all under some deep mind trance and we're all simulating everything around us? How do you know? Because simply, if I can go on my computer and I can create a whole digital world like Minecraft or something like that, or GTA, how do you know that we're not in a simulation as well?
reality. Now, that's a truly weird thought.
Oh, I remember Roko's Basculus. It's about artificial intelligence. I think that gives punishment to those who break it. I think it's
Number
something about
6.
AI
Roko's
giving punishment.
basilisk. Roko's basilisk is a hypothesis that some future super-powerful artificial intellect can
Yeah,
retroactively punish people who've struggled against
I
it in
was
the
like, yeah,
past, which
all
is our
right,
present,
because I do
or even
remember it.
those who did nothing to help bring it about. This theory mostly explores the possible consequences of developing AI to such an advanced level.
If you think I'm nerding out on this, you should hear me when I'm talking about mythology or like history. Um, AI, honestly, I think that we should not temper in that. If you create an artificial intelligence with the capability of a human being, if your best friend that you know for years can switch up on you and become fake so quick, how do you know that AI won't switch up on you? How do you know that they won't go back in history, recall all the incidents where man fucked up shit? I would have to say it. Yeah, my sister. How do you know that they won't go back in history, learn all the things that we did in the past, like caused a bunch of war and stuff, and try to wipe us out so they can prevent further things like that? If they're supposed to be like artificial intelligence, peacekeepers and stuff like that, how do you know that they won't try?
That it can backfire on us. Who comes up with this stuff? Ready for more? Number 5. The transcension hypothesis. How about a less scary, more positive theory for a
I
change?
remember
Well,
this.
I'm ready for that.
I don't
The
really think.
transcension hypothesis states that a civilization eventually gets to a certain intellectual level. Having
Yep.
reached this
And it
point,
just
it manages
stops.
to achieve microscopic technological singularity, okay, stay with me now, and create a black hole which will allow this civilization to leave
I honestly think that if I put my mind to it, I can learn so much and I will never stop learning.
its visible universe. This way, it'll take its complexity, intelligence, and growth to new levels.
Oh, the way they have flying cars. Let me give you a theory. Let me bring out this for a second. This drone, right? If I open this drone, right, it's basically it can fly, right? Basically, and carry something with it, right? If we want flying cars, why don't we just model a car after a drone? The way a drone has this, you can basically put a seat on it. Or the way it opens up right here, you can basically put a seat on it and make this the carriage for the carry the human being. And this will float in the air. If you make a drone big enough, it can become a flying car just like this. Simple. If we want flying cars, it can happen, my nigga. This.
At the rate our scientific development is going, this becomes a real optimistic probability for the human race. Number 4. The
Then as more advancements come, you don't have to make it that like you don't have to make the model looking like a drone itself with the arm stretching out. You can make it more compact and put the blades on each side and make it as a hover car.
terror
It's simple.
management theory.
And put
According to this idea, everything we do
a rotational axis on it so that it doesn't fall through.
comes from the fear of death. Our wishes and motivation are based on just one thing, and it's the idea that one day we will stop existing. When you consider modern medicine, or even
live
just
each day like it's your
anti-aging
last.
procedures and products, it becomes obvious that we really are desperately trying to avoid death. Science works day and
Let me say something. I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of life either. You can't live life without death. You have to. If there's death, you can't reject it. If there's life, you can't reject it. You have to have both and just accept both, my nigga. Anytime it can come. So
night to ensure that humanity will survive, and the
exactly.
human
Without day,
lifespan
there's no
will
night.
become
Without night, there's
longer
no
and
day.
longer. Number 3, the 6th mass.
A sixth mass extinction. Basically, you know that in the past, the world has ended when we're still here by like. Okay, I'm gonna talk about this from two perspective because I'm a God-fearing man. I believe in God. So, in science perspective, the cosmos is basically trying to create balance because we're messing stuff up. So he erased us with the flood, with animals revolting against us, which is the plagues. What? The meteor shower that killed off the dinosaurs. Basically, the world was to end in fire next, according to the Bible. Basically, we're defying God. On the biblical side, we're defying God, and we're trying to strive for something that we're not supposed to. So he wiped us out 3 times. He gave us 3 different chances, and we're still messing stuff up. So we about to get fire next. Let me just say something about the dinosaurs. God know he messed up. He messed up with the dinosaurs because they were just hella dangerous and they're apex predators. So he had to stomp that out real quick.
This theory is probably the most horrifying. Yet, unfortunately, it's the most probable scenario. Some biologists believe that humanity is headed for or already passing through the 6th mass extinction. It has to do with how overpopulated our planet is. In the 18th century, there were about 1 billion people on Earth.
There's like 7.2 now, right?
Just a couple hundred years later, the number of people on this planet has exceeded a whopping 7 billion. If nothing changes, the outcome will be unavoidable.
Yeah, we're gonna turn out to Resident Evil shit. It's gonna be some kind of apocalypse. And I do promise you, if there's an apocalypse, I will be a freaking warlord. And I will not die.
Basically, humankind is due for a tragic demise.
Basically, this is teaching you, use a damn condom.
Number 2, the Fermi paradox. This idea explains why we probably wouldn't recognize an advanced alien civilization, even if it came up and bit us on the butt. This civilization could be so advanced
that humans
would never understand their ways. As a result of our dumb simplicity, this technologically developed race would never try to come in contact with us.
Basically, ants.
After all, you don't pay attention to ants, do you? It's kind of like how...
Do you look at ants and say, yes, we're equal. I can talk to you. I can confide in you. No, you don't look down on somebody. As the same way somebody may be looking down on us too.
How ants don't realize that a highway you build near their anthill is what it is. A means of connecting distant places.
You know, ants are so dope. You know the reason why I'm saying they're dope for? If you would take like I'm pretty sure they've talked about this theory. If you would take like ant genetics and blend them with a human, you would basically have the relative strength compared to a human. Like you'll be able to lift 4 times your weight. Like supposedly right now I can lift like 200 kg, right? If I had like the DNA of an ant, I'll be able to lift like 600, 800 kg with breeze, you know, because an ant lifts like 3 or 4 times its body weight.
We couldn't even fathom the complexity of this civilization, and they, in turn, couldn't be bothered to enlighten us.
They don't care about us.
Number 1, the simulation
what I was talking
theory.
about, the simulation theory, right?
Now, according to the simulation theory, we all live in an incredibly complex computer game. Yep, nothing less than that. It's likely that either humanity in the distant future or any other technologically advanced alien civilization has created
What I say about in the future? If I can create a world right now, an entire graphic world that has things in it, that events, storylines, plot lines. If they're developing VR, virtual reality, what makes you and you know the Sword Art Online, the deep dive technology, what makes you think that they couldn't make that in real life and put your brain under some kind of trance or some shit, VR, and simulate your entire life, my nigga? How do you know right now I'm not some gray old man right now reliving my glory days?
Will create numerous computer simulations. And while the number of these simulations will be almost infinite, chances are that we're living in one of them right now. Sorry, that was my mind blowing. So which theory impressed you the most?
Which theory impressed me the most?
Any of these theories could be true?
I do believe some of them can be true, but I'm a man of reason as well.
If at least one theory managed to blow your mind, like mine, hit the like button.
Not really, because stay thirsty for knowledge. Stay thirsty. Not really, because I knew most of this. I'm gonna subscribe to you. 37.6 million now. You know. But I knew most of this stuff, but still, if you really think about it logically, or you really break it down, there is some scary ass shit that we can't explain, my nigga. Anyways, it's been your boy Odyssey. This was a long video. If you actually did watch this to the end, Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you want to. I'm not forcing you. I'm not chaining you down to do it. But support me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.